Okay.
All right.
So what got you interested in coaching?
Well, I used to watch like a bunch of videos with like Jane and Stylosa back in the day, and
The ghost.
I used to love those. But at the time, I was a kid and I had no money, so like I could never afford to pay for coaching. It was just like a dream at the time, and I
Yeah.
kind of forgot about that. And then like earlier this year, I was just looking around for videos about like tips for Lucio because they were looking to improve.
Hmm.
And I couldn't find anything good. It was all very surface level. But then I
Yeah.
stumbled across one of your videos, and it was like the first time I've seen someone explaining stuff about Lucio that I hadn't actually heard before, and it was like new takes. And I found out that you did coaching, and that kind of just got me interested in the idea. So I decided, why not give it a shot and see what I can get out of it.
Sure. Sick. Glad to hear it. All right. Let's look through your form here. So how long you been playing Overwatch? Sounds like kind of a long time.
2016 is when I started. Yeah.
2016. Okay. And I'm seeing Lucio OTP basically.
Yeah. Yeah. I went for Lucio.
Nice. A man of culture. What appealed to you initially about Lucio, and what has allowed you or encouraged you to stick with him for so long?
Well, I watched an SK video one time, and then I
Yeah.
decided I want to do that. So I started playing Lucio from there, and I have been the shittiest SK clone since.
Perfect. Love to see it. Okay. What do you hope to get out of the session here? I'm looking at your form. I hope to be able to get more insight into what areas of the game I struggle in. Very often in games, I feel like I have moments. Games, I feel pointless. I have a lot of trouble identifying what I could have done better in those situations when reviewing those games afterwards. Yeah, I love Lucio because whenever I do a Lucio VOD review, I always feel like I have to preface it by saying that I really do feel that Lucio is one of the most complex and nuanced characters in the game.
Yeah, definitely.
I think maybe up there with Diva, which I think might shock some people, but I do think that there's so many things that you could be doing. It's not as simple as like even like a character like Tracer, which has a lot of nuance and a lot of depth. It's generally the same general idea, but just different ways of interpreting it. But the way of looking at Lucio, it's like there's so many different, like totally different things that you could be doing. It's hard to always know. Okay, one trick Lucio will swap to Moira if someone else takes him, if we really need more healing. But swapping heroes less since my Moira win rate is very low. How often, how long do you play Overwatch per day? I go through phases where I play Overwatch a ton and phases where I won't play comp at all, but I'll play quick play in other modes. So I'm in any one of those comp grind phases, usually 1 to 3 hours a day, most days of the week. I usually try to do one rank update each day that I decide to play comp. Okay, makes sense. Now, I guess the question is goal-wise, I mean, looking at your form here, the goal is to hit Grandmaster by the end of the year. Long-term goal is to reach GM1, ultimate rank, and so on. What motivates you to reach these high ranks? Yeah.
I think a big part of just that was like a childhood dream for mine when I started playing Overwatch because I was bronze originally for a long time.
Yeah.
And I was, of course, type of bronze that was like, oh, I'm actually a GM. My teammates just hold me back.
Yeah.
So I always had like this dream of being, a Grandmaster top 500 player. And over time, I've just gotten closer to it until now where it's like, I'm right there. It's attainable. I'm Masters 1 right now.
Okay. Makes sense. Congratulations on that, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
But okay. Sounds good. And then in terms of training time, what sparks the competitive streaks? And what sparks you not competitive streaking for a while?
So what starts the competitive streaks? I'm not really sure. I'll just start thinking about comp again and being like, yeah, I want to try and hit a new peak, and then I'll do that. And usually what stops it is like I'll just start playing a different game. Like a new game will come out and I'll start playing that, and that just distracts me from Overwatch.
Okay. Makes sense. And then how long are those streaks off and on in general?
They usually they last about 2 weeks.
Okay. Makes sense. I mean, the big thing is that like to actually reach your goals is having some sort of consistency is so important.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is definitely not a flaw, but let's say a weakness in your approach right now is that, and it's not necessarily something that you necessarily need to change. It's just something you need to be aware of. Because obviously you've found mixed success with it as it is. And it's not like Grandmaster is not possible with the current approach. Of course it's possible. It's just going to be something that I am going to identify as a potential weakness. Now, if you start to really get that competitive mindset grind, you are feeling more motivated, enjoying playing the game more. Mm-hmm. I would say the best thing that you could do is to have a slightly more structure with how you're approaching things. So instead of going like full out, I'm not playing as much comp, just make it a daily routine that when I'm playing Overwatch, I'm playing 1 or 2 games of ranked. Doesn't matter if it's a quick play day. Doesn't matter if it's a competitive game. I'm just playing 1 or 2 games of ranked. Because I think that like even on your like more chill days, if you're able to get just 1 or 2 games of good practice, just 1 or 2 games, that's better than nothing.
Yeah.
And then I also think that following off of that is not even necessarily playing for a rank update, but having a set number of games in mind where you're just there to perform the best that you possibly can. And then whether you win, whether you lose, it doesn't matter. You practice, then you move on from there. Mm-hmm. That would probably be some of the 2 low-hanging fruits for small improvements with your current training schedule. Now, you don't have to implement those depending on what you enjoy and how motivated you are, but that's just something to be aware of.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Any questions so far?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, let's keep going. What do you feel is holding back from improving? I feel like my accuracy is pretty bad, which can inhibit my 1v1 ability and my ability to apply pressure to opponents at range. Well, it's hard. It's really, really hard. One of the most mechanically difficult characters in the game because I always like to look at Lucio as the double mechanic character, along with Wrecking Ball, along with Tracer, where it's not just simply your aim, you're also your movement is a part of a mechanical challenge. The best way to practice that is just to play it in game. And do you warm up?
I do. I usually play 1 quick play game or a deathmatch before I start playing comp, and that just gets me like my mechanics are a bit better, and I can also judge if I'm having like a good or bad day. If I do terribly, I'm just not going to play comp that session.
Okay. Keep in mind that I would not use that as a barometer for whether you should be playing comp or not. I would just simply use that as a warm up. No, because remember, when you're going into comp, there's going to be bad days, there's going to be good days, but saying that you have a mechanical bad day does not mean that you're going to have a bad day of comp. Okay. The quality of your comp is how focused you are during that practice session. And your mechanical expression doesn't necessarily that you're not going to be able to be focused. Mm-hmm. Right? Obviously, mechanics is important, but it'd still be a productive day of comp if you're able to focus for a couple of games. And even if you, like, let's say your mechanics are really bad, but your positioning was good, your decision-making was good, you were focused, that's great practice. Yeah. So don't avoid it just because you have a bad mechanical day, because the other problem with mechanics is your mechanics might even be that bad of a mechanical day. You just had a bad game.
Yeah, could be.
One other tip as well, and I'm throwing a lot of details your way. Drop the quick play. Stick with deathmatch. Oh, really? Okay. Stick with deathmatch. I think that's going to be much better quality mechanical practice.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that. Yeah, because it's a lot more fast-paced.
A lot more fast-paced. A lot more dueling potential. Yeah, and a lot less time spent in the spawn room. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Okay. I have moments in game where I can't figure out what I could be doing to provide value to the team. That's the Lucio struggle.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's so hard.
Yeah, I've had a lot of issues with beat usage. It's mostly caused by me taking too long to decide if I should beat or not. So if by the time I decide, it's too late. Okay. 9+ hours of sleep. Nice. I make a lot of call outs in my comp games. Okay. Okay. I don't really have any other questions from your forum. Do you have any other questions for me?
No, not right now.
Okay. You want to look at some gameplay?
Yep. I'll send you some codes.
Let's do it.
I have 2 here. I'll start with this one.
Works for me.
There you go.
Okay. Let's take a look here. So Lucio, it's all about finding selfish value when you can, but also trying to ask yourself, like, who's going to benefit the most from my existence, right? While also getting that selfish value.
Yeah.
Because what makes Lucio unique is that you're one of the best pocket characters in the game in some aspects, and one of the worst pocket characters in other aspects. Your healing is very weak. You have no way of directly affect fights like a damage boost or a Discord orb. But what you are is a second DPS character. And what you are is a character that can pocket so many people without risking your life, which not a lot of other pocket characters can do. And then in addition to that, while you lack the mobility of like an armor pack, a mercy beam, a harmony orb, right, where you could throw it pretty much anywhere, you can be anywhere. That's kind of where. So you need to kind of like where will my impact be felt the most, and that's really what separates the good from the great Lucios, because it's if you realize it's not very easy. State the obvious. Okay. Now you have a really important decision to make here, because you may not even realize it, but there's a decision opportunity right now, and it's happening on your periphery. So there's opportunity here. Assist my Zarya. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Then you have this. But then you have this. Now, this is exactly what I'm talking about when it's like, well, what do you provide to the Sojourn? Well, you tell me.
Well, I can speed her in so she gets a better angle more efficiently in time.
Okay. What else
Then
can you
also,
do?
if she's getting attacked, I can help defend her, either
Sure.
just physically by fighting them, or also by healing her and speeding her away.
Exactly. Now, think of it from a selfish standpoint. What does this position provide to you? What does this provide to you? I don't think there's a whole lot of anything from either one, but just think big picture here.
Well, from the Zarya's position, it gives me a chance to try and maybe boop the Sigma in. Probably unlikely. Then from the Sojourn's position, I don't really see much value that I get directly out of that.
I agree. Maybe a little bit of tickle on the backline, a little bit of a better angle on the backline, but that's not exactly your strength either, right? At that range anyway. So from right now, where should you be then?
I would say right now probably with the Zarya.
I agree.
Could be good in a few seconds once the backline peaks out from their little hidey hole.
But you see that this was a really, really quick assessment that you made that both people could use Pocket right now. But for me, selfishly, I'm going to benefit more from the Zarya because I can actually contribute to the Sigma duel more than I can do anything with the Sojourn. Okay, that's it. Now, this is where you have an opportunity to make some plays. Your job as Lucio, most of the time, is to complement. Because you see this action right here. What should be your reaction when you see this on your screen?
I should be trying to look for some kind of opportunity here for a dive. I know people are low in the back line, and I could try and dive and get a pick and get out.
Why is that an opportunity now? Why is that your gut instinct right now? What do you see?
Because Zarya is making a lot of space, and she's distracting a lot of their focus.
Right there. That's it right there. You are like, there are times when you can kind of open up as Lucio, but more often than not, you are more of a reactor to what your DPS or what your tank are doing. Or what the enemy DPS and what the enemy tank is doing. So I see this here. This is a perfect opportunity to go in, and you've got so many options. Full dive, Frogger mode, right?
Yeah.
Boop the Sigma out, play cautiously. Pivot to go help your Sojourn on off angle. There's so many options here. And all the while, you're assisting your Zarya at the same time, right? Go ahead.
Yeah, I got a bit scared here because I heard sim turrets, and I was thinking, like, if I try and go in, I'm going to get slowed, and I'm going to get healed by the Sigma.
But that's the only reason that would be the case is if you failed with your positioning or you failed with your movement. Right? You should be on the wall. You should be on the wall. You should be on the high ground. You have to trust yourself to be able to make these plays.
Yeah.
And if you fail, do it again. If it's a smart play, if your mechanics are good enough, then you need to keep doing it until your mechanics are good enough.
Yeah.
So you're AFKing here. Missed opportunity to amp your Zarya in speed there. I mean, speed would have been amazing there. She doesn't get speed. She doesn't get amp. And then now you're amping and you're on the floor. This is rough, right? This is pretty rough.
Yeah, definitely.
Again, another opportunity, right? Another opportunity, and you're sitting. You're sitting.
Yeah.
So here's the main takeaway from you right now. You're with the right person, but you're not matching their proactivity. You're missing opportunities, and now your Zarya she should have died there. She should have died.
Yeah, Arana was crazy.
And even regardless, like your Junkrat's now dead. Now we're amping, healing, and staying in the same spot. You're on the floor. Does this make sense? So look for proactivity and either enable that proactivity or use it to enable your own proactivity, if that makes sense.
Yeah, right here I make a stupid play.
To be honest with you, I actually don't even mind it. It's just too late. Like you see your Sojourn over here, your Sojourn's being proactive. She gets dove by the Symmetra. The Symmetra gets the kill. But that does mean, in theory here, the Symmetra should be distracted. There's an opportunity here. You just get here too late. And she hits a crazy shot at you. That's it. That's it. It's not the proactivity that's a problem.
Sojourn and BAP too at the same time.
Yep. Okay. Okay. Love to see it.
Yeah, some high action gameplay right now.
I mean, you're gonna be cart bot. That's all right. Somebody has to do it, right? So let's What do you think? Reasonable? Not reasonable? Stupid? Smart? What do you think?
Because they're on the high ground there, and the soldier is able to shoot at me. I'm not sure if he is right now. If he's looking at that's my team. It's not the
Yep.
best. But if it was just a pure 1v1, I think it would be good.
I think so too. And the funny thing is even if you die here, it's actually going to be expensive for you to die here. Do you see what's happening behind the soldier?
My team's diving their Ana.
Right. So are you reacting to your team pressuring here? Maybe accidentally, but yes. So what's happening is your team engages. You engage a little bit early, to be honest with you, but you engage. So they're all looking at you. Look at this Lucio feeding. Look at this Lucio feeding, but they don't know. You see this?
Yeah, the soldier is shooting at me.
So even if you die here, it will actually serve a purpose. What I'd prefer you to do is let your team engage first on the high, then you push the Sojourn. But you're tanking here, and that actually, you might actually win the fight off of this. And there it is.
I was able to get out there and boop
there it
the
is.
off.
You see the kill feed? There it is. Funny, isn't it? Reactive proactivity. Either reacting to your team or in response to what the enemy team does. And that's where peeling comes into play, right? Where the enemy team makes an action and you peel it off. Okay. I like this. This is good. Probably would save amp here. Your amp healing does about 150 healing, which is like, fairly useful. But think of it this way. The amp healing is only going to be doing 120 healing that otherwise wouldn't be happening. Whereas the amp speed will probably avoid more than 120 damage. At least with the tank. Make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's okay here to just sit on it. I like this. I like this. This is good. Again, ask like, who can I help right now? Now, again, you're going to have to be very, very smart about how you approach this. If you go in now, you're dead.
I think I do go in now when I die. Yeah, I remember this. Lucio boops me. He gets a nice boost when I die.
But you see it, right? All these fights where you have lacked proactivity, and then 2 fights in a row where you have taken the initiative yourself instead of your tank, or instead of in response to the enemy team. And so now you're the easiest target to shoot, and now you're dead. You see that? Would have been fine to just sit here, sit here, sit here. You're Zarya grabs. You either follow up off of the grab, or then you go in off of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it's funny because you're going to look at that, and that's probably going to discourage you from being proactive. But that's not the lesson you should learn.
Yeah, well, I knew right there I was speeding. I knew that was
okay.
I knew it was stupid.
Fair enough. Good.
I remember we had some trouble in this point now.
Well, you gotta make a decision here. So there's 2 ways of looking at this. How do you help your Ana cross here? There's 2 ways.
I could speed her, and I guess I could try and distract them so she can get through for free.
Well, who would you support to distract them?
I think the Sojourn is the most.
You see that? You see that? Yeah, you see that. So if you pocket your Sojourn here, you help your Ana rotate. Isn't that funny? Be decisive. This is fine. And let's check it. See?
Yeah, she made it.
There you go. Good job. You greeted it. You greeted it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, where like I think about beating and like, oh, should I do it in time? Okay, it's a good time, then I do it, but then it's too late.
So here's the thing with beat. The nice thing about beat is obviously that the HP decays quickly, but because it has a duration to it, even if you're not sure, a beat will often not be wasted because your team can always go, oh, maybe we didn't need beat there, but what can we do with the speed HP now, right?
Yeah.
So even if you're like, oh, maybe we didn't need beat there, it will still allow your team to walk forward, take space, force cooldowns, and so on. So it's still okay. Like if you beat that, like, oh, we could have lived with bubbles, your team is still going to be able to play aggressive for the next 3 or 4 seconds, and your team will still get value out of it. Don't second guess yourself.
Yeah, I'm trying to beat a bit more reactively and quickly to grab some blades and things like that. Especially Blade, because like the Genji always focuses the Lucio.
Now, I want you to flex your brain muscles here. Because you know at some point your Zarya has done a really good job of taking space and taking initiative here. So you know at some point here you're going to have an opportunity to do something. With the information that you have now, you know somebody's up top left, you know somebody's up top right. What are your options when that happens?
Well, right now I think trying to add the person to the left, kind of like behind the screen here, would probably be the best because the Ana's on the right side. I think that's Ana back there, and so there's no dive possible there. She'll just heal or just anti and sleep me.
But do you need to get the kill?
I guess not really. No, I can take resources and maybe boop them off of the high ground.
That's it right there, right? You could displace them off the top. Now, the top left is also very reasonable here. It's totally up to you. But what I'm looking for is a decisive action, right? Is you're either going to go hardcore, get the kill here, whatever, because it's going to be easier, or I'm going to disrupt them, boop them off at the high ground here. I don't care. Go for it. As long as you time it well, it should work. As long as it's amped speed into that action, it's going to go well.
Yeah.
Amp speed now, right now.
Think that I do.
It's way too passive. It's way too passive. Like, remember, this is it's reactive proactivity, and you're missing the opportunity right now. Like, I don't even know what you're waiting for, right? It's odd. It's odd. It's odd. So for you, it's like you might be looking at this and be like, I don't normally do this, right? But you just might not realize it. You're smart enough to know what to do, but you're lacking the proactivity, the initiative to actually take it, the opportunity. So maybe that's your weakness. So you're a smart player, but you're not a very good player. And by good, I mean relative to what you should be. You know, like obviously you're a good player, but good. That's all right. Good. Nice. Now again here. Yeah, I was gonna say thank you. Because you're this up, maybe you can be the initiative. You know.
Yeah.
Because even here you don't even realize it, but your Sojourn's up here with you, right? So it's like this is great.
I knew she was up here with me.
Oh, okay, perfect.
I heard her slide up with me.
Perfect. All right, well then you're good to go. Oh my gosh.
He lost beat there too. It was really unfortunate.
No way. No way.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, no.
Our Junkrat was cackling about that.
That is, well, the Junkrat's just cackle in general, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
I've never met a main that is more typecasted than Junkrat players. All right. Obviously, just AFK here, pretty much. You could even be on heal song here if you wanted to, because your team's not really moving. We're just kind of holding space.
Yeah.
But it's whatever. We haven't talked as much about aura movement. I guess the one tip I give to you, if you haven't seen it in my videos, is just if you're moving, you're on speed. If you're not moving, you're on heals. That's that simple.
Yeah, that's the big thing. I tend to match my speed to my movement. You might notice that, like, as I'm moving somewhere, I'll go on speed for a second, then I'll go back to heals, or the other way around.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I don't think it's the most important thing for you right now, but just something to be aware of. This is where I would be on speed. You don't need to be amping speed necessarily, but I would definitely be on speed.
Yeah.
There you go. Again, reactive proactivity. You see this? And that was good. I mean, we had to be careful because you did go out in the open to do so. But
yeah.
But there's less risk going into the open. Like, we don't love it, but there's less risk because there's 3 targets for the enemy team to shoot at the same time because you are complementing. And there's also the Riptire too, right? So go ahead.
Yeah, my mindset here was that because the Zarya went out first, and she was, the closest one to the rest of the team, they're all going to be shooting her first. So when I come in, they have to first assess that I'm there, decide if they want to shoot me or not, and then start shooting me.
Agreed.
That'll give me enough time to get back into cover.
Beautiful, beautiful. But where was that the last 5-6 minutes? You know what I'm saying? First point, second point. I mean, that we would have loved for this sort of proactivity. The irony here is this is probably the worst time for you to be proactive in terms because it's very open. Whereas the second bridge, the first point, there's so much more cover, so much more high ground, so much for verticality, and yet you didn't take that sort of proactivity. So I guess the question here is maybe just to take a quick second to reflect. Maybe you don't know the answer. Why? Why is this? Why do you think this is a weakness from you? Now, we haven't seen a ton of gameplay, but we've seen enough to definitely identify this as a potential weakness.
I guess it's just that I used to have a really aggressive play style, and I got that beaten out of me as I went up the ranks. And I guess probably took too far of a correction.
Sure. Well, I would say it's not even about you went too far in one direction, because you've noticed that when is the aggression feeding? When is the aggression not feeding? It's not about being too aggressive or not aggressive enough. It's really more about not how or what, it's when. You kind of get what I'm saying? Because even when you went on the Sojourn earlier, remember on second point when you tried to clear the Sojourn off of high ground and you almost died to the soldier, right?
Yeah.
It's just because you were basically by yourself. Not by yourself directly, because that's going to happen all the time, but like your team wasn't even engaged elsewhere, right? So that there was a real risk of you dying. So that's what I want you to be attentive to, right? Attentive to what's happening on the battlefield so you know those windows.
Yeah.
Because I see this all the time. People always ask me, like, how does, SK or how does Frogger or, how does Funny Astro or whatever, how do they get away with that level of aggression? It's always when are they aggressing, Not to mention, obviously, how they're moving and all that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really impressive how they're able to have so much more opportunities to be aggressive than I feel like I have.
They just read the battlefield so much better. They're aware of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is okay. This is like a couple of opportunities there to help your Sojourn on the angle. You know, maybe a little bit more follow up. It's not a big deal. I'm all about choosing battles. You know, rat. Good. An amp, nice job. An amp heal on a squishy is a lot more forgivable than an amp speed.
Yeah, it helps them out a lot better.
Yeah, the percentage of HP is like super high. Oof, dopamine right there. Love the shots. Okay. Same thing here with beat. Proactivity. I don't like that though. If I see this, I know you're concerned. I understand. But what should you do? What's your best assistance here?
Amping speed in.
Amping speed. If you see crit, you either amp speed or you just sit in speed song and pray that they use it. You can either greed the amp and be like, I don't think she needs it. She should be smart and not feed and just sit on speed song here to get her out to cover. Or if you really think that she needs the help, then amp speed here. This is not going to be worth it. This is not going to be worth it. This percentage of healing is not enough. And more often than not, it's just going to waste your amp. And then now
we don't have
you need the amp speed, right? You need the amp speed now, right? Yeah, okay. This is actually a little bit unfortunate. Obviously, it's a little bit of cover. And the funny thing is even in the microcosm of this engagement right here, do you notice your level of aggression versus your team's?
Yeah, I'm the most aggressive here.
Right. I know you're not intending to be aggressive here. It's just kind of a goof up. You mess up your positioning a little bit, but it's still funny. It's like, why did I get punished for being aggressive? Because I was peeking when nobody but my Sojourn was peeking. In fact, your Sojourn peeked a little bit after you did. Actually, you actually enable your Sojourn to pop off because they're not even looking at your Sojourn, they're looking at you.
It was tactical.
Tactical feeding, yes, exactly. Okay. Beat the first thing you see here. Good. Beat it. Totally fine to beat this.
Yeah, I tend to save it here for if they're going to use a big ult when they come back out the door.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But I'm always thinking, what if they hit a shot through that window? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just the only way that something goes wrong is something really corny happens, and you can totally shut that down. Okay. Any questions so far?
Trying to think. No, I don't think I have anything right now.
Okay. I want to add one layer of nuance. I know we've touched on it briefly, but I want to hit at it again because it's going to be very important, I think, especially with the patch notes today. We talk about reactive proactivity, right? So it's when your team, your DPS or supports are taking, or your tank are taking initiative, that you take that as a window of opportunity to go for something aggressive yourself, either to enable them or to disable somebody else or whatever. But I want to remind you that it's not just about your team, right? It's about anything that the enemy team does. That Sojourn slides in, that's proactivity. Do something, right? Tracer on your backline, do something. Sombra on your backline, do something. Ball engaging, do something. And I feel like that's probably pretty obvious to you, but it's just a good way to like marry what we're talking about right now with the overall concept. It's not just about when your team does something, you do something. It's when anybody takes any sort of proactive action, you need to either deny that or enable that.
Yeah.
Make sense? Okay, let's keep going here. Like the positioning here, it's fine. And this is it, right? This is exactly what I just talked about, right? Sojourn slides top. She's taking a proactive angle, which means that there's going to be an engagement from her team and your team, which means you can go for this boop here without worrying about being focused on. Because if the enemy team all focuses you down, like the Zarya here, do you see how this is expensive for them?
Yeah, she's turning her back on our team.
She's turning her back, right. So she's going to take damage. And in theory, you shouldn't die here. Cost you an amp, but you know what? It's good. Because they've just used Maywall, they've just charged up your Zarya, and your Zarya's fine. Now, as long as you play cover here, you should be okay.
Yeah, I got really scared there.
Yeah, and there you go. You win the fight. So you're scared there, but and you could have played that one, I think, mechanically better in terms of how you moved here and there, but it works. And it's not an accident that it worked either. You denied the Sojourn an angle, you distracted the Zarya when she really should have been focusing your backline instead, and you win the fight. Nice job.
Yeah.
Even little things like here, like the fact that your Zarya took basically no damage is because of you. You took the heat there, and there is not a support in the game that could do that. Maybe Kiriko could have done something similar to that there. Nice amp. But there is not a support in the game that would be able to take that level of aggression and live to tell the tale, right?
Yeah.
And so that's playing to your strengths. Because that's the challenge with Lucio. It's like, what do I do as a Lucio when they're not playing dive or when we're not playing brawl? It's like, well, again, like if you can't, put spam damage on a tank, you could still take angles and positions, do things like this that other DPS, the other supports, Freudian slip, can't do, right? Again, the amp, either don't amp here or amp speed.
Yeah.
That is one little micro thing I've noticed. Nothing really to do here. Just sit on heal song and spam out an angle. Like even this here. Even this here, right?
I don't know what she was doing.
Right, but like think about this, right? She's on an off angle. She's taking a proactive angle, right? So what do?
Yeah.
You're either going to kill her, best case scenario, or you're going to force her out. You're going to force her to get healed. That's going to take a lot of heat off of your team because the most dangerous person on the field right now is the person on the off angle. And you're moving that threat. Huge. I mean, yeah, we take that, but even without the kill there, it's still good. It's totally worth it to leave your tank if you're clearing an off angle.
Yeah, I think I play Lucio the best on defense on maps like this, where I can go to off angles and shut down things like that, and I can control high ground. Usually on this map, on this point, I'll just play up where I was in the beginning, wall riding next to that bridge there, and boop them off when they go up there, or just try and 1v1.
Perfect. Looks great. Yeah, I mean, it's good value. It's good value. Again, this is a situation where it's like even in the nuance here, like you notice that your aura management here, right? There's another amp healing, which I think was intended for your Sojourn, so like whatever, right? But here, it's like your Zarya needs 0 speed, and she doesn't need this flash of healing here.
Yeah,
this needs to be speed all the way out, So much more important. Holy mackerel! Was she reloading? She must have been reloading at the worst possible time. Wait, she just missed. She just missed. Oh my goodness. I would be weeping here. Okay, so you got a little bit of fortunate there. But you know what? We take it. Okay. Let's find out. You want to guess why you died? Well, okay. Why? But why? Like, it's always holistic, right?
I overextended there.
You overextend, right? Yeah. You pushed on a level of aggression. Now, I kind of understand it here a little bit because of your Sojourn taking a proactive angle here. But even in the micro, right? You drop to the floor, right?
Yeah.
So if you're going to be proactive here, if you're going to be the first man in, the last man out, at least have the dignity of doing so on a wall. Because it's going to get you punished here. So, could you have waited for your Zarya? Yeah, you probably should have. Could you have gone in with your Sojourn? Yeah, but if you're going to do so, you need to be on a wall. Okay. All right. I mean, this is where you're cooking, right? Like, she's done.
I do actually have a question.
Please.
So a lot of the times when you see me amping heals or healing when it's probably not most necessary, that's because in my mind I'm trying to just like build my ult faster because Lucio builds me so slowly, and so I like try to squeeze out as much healing as I can to try and help with ult charge. Do you think it's better to try and prioritize ult or just like the momentary value with speed boost?
You don't need to make that decision. You're giving yourself you're making it like a hard decision when it's not a hard decision. Think about it this way: how much ult charge will you get from amp healing a tank?
Maybe like 3%.
Right. You don't remember it doesn't give you as much ult charge, right?
Yeah.
So it's not even a decision. It's not even a problem. You get what I'm saying? Stay in speed. Yeah. Stay in speed because it's not going to give you much ult charge anyway. If you really want to min-max your ult charge, there's 2 ways to do it. Look at your neutral aura management. So like when you guys are like, for example, standing still, or when you guys are kind of standing still, ask yourself, was there any moments where I was unnecessarily swapping to speed when we were just standing still? Yeah. That's when like the Zarya launches a right click and hits your Sojourn for 40 damage. That's ult charge you want. And then ask yourself, how are my mechanics? Like how are my mechanics into standing still and just hitting your shots? That's how you build your ult charge. But when you're asking yourself, hey, I'm struggling with my amps because I want to build that ult charge, but it's a flawed question because we're not talking about squishies amp healing. We're talking about tanks. And so that's not going to give you much ult charge anyway. Does that make sense?
Yeah, tanks is like 30% less, right?
Yeah, 30% less.
Okay.
30% less. So it's not a lot less, but it's enough to question the value of it, especially given the overall macro concern of how much do they need the speed versus how much they need the 120 healing.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good question though. Because it is tricky. It's always the problem with Lucio. It's been the same problem with Lucio. I mean, I'm sure you're aware for 5 years, right? 6 years.
Yeah.
Like beats always like this, for example, right now, if I see flashes of speed, you're losing ult charge. Now, you already have ultimate, so it doesn't really matter. But like, let's say you didn't. This would be the moments in the fight where you want to be looking. Okay. This is awkward, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're like, I want to enable my Zarya, but the angle of the Mei makes it really, really tricky here. Yeah, I don't blame you here. Fine. Sure. Don't second guess it. Use it. Give yourself time. Give yourself time to react, you know?
Yeah, unfortunately they use my ult there, so it doesn't work out.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you look at this here, and I mean, come on, like look at how much space that they've given up. Look how many cooldowns they've used. It's Ice Block, Ice Wall, Sojourn Slide, both bubbles, Mei ult and Sojourn ult. And I'd imagine an Ana cooldown as well. Okay, there's the Ana cooldowns. You guys just didn't have any ults, or at least your Sojourn wasn't set up properly. Like, this is more on your Sojourn here. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, if we look at this here, the best thing your Sojourn could have done is angled from high with you, right? And just sat here with Lucio and dealt with this. And then all of a sudden you pop Sojourn ult here, we're cooking. But no, this beat was fine. Your positioning was fine. You used obviously the roof to cancel it a little bit faster. The speed was good as well. The heal, because she's not going anywhere. The boop was a good try. There's nothing you can do. Yep. And you disengage it, and there you go, right? You only take one loss. You guys are able to hold position. I actually look at this here, and my nitpick is here is then as you get this Ana out, where should you go?
Probably up with a Junkrat, maybe.
Up with the Junkrat, and not just the Junkrat. Go enable your DPS at an angle.
Oh, I didn't even see that she was over there still.
Yeah, she's rotated all the way around behind. Control space. So the taxi is only important if there's nothing else happening. There's definitely something else happening here.
Okay. Yeah, I guess in my mind I was prioritizing like getting the full team fight because I thought, oh well, they're just gonna die anyways. There's no point
right. But your team still has space. So yeah, your team still has space here. Go help her. Or help her here, right? Like help somewhere, right? This is good. Oh, you could have gone for it. You had a window there. You had a window where like right here, Zarya's in. You could do it. You could do it. You could do it.
I didn't see the Mei was there in time, so I went to the other side first, and then it was too late. But at least I scared them backwards a little bit. You did. Yes, you did.
But you see how, like, again, it's like one of those times where it's like, because you're complementing aggression, yeah, you die for it because they grab, but it works, right? Because your Sojourn takes an angle, your Zarya pushes, nobody's looking at you anymore. And if they do look at you, they get punished for it.
Yeah.
Yep, good stuff. Just speed her up. Or maybe not. Maybe just sit here and... I would be decisive with what you want to do here. You either need to control... Okay, we're high ground, maybe even with your Sojourn here. All right? Or you sit right here.
Yeah, I definitely could be there.
You need... I understand the fear here because you're thinking, like, I can't cross back over safely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but... Your Zarya is committed. Like, this is very clearly, after the first 5 seconds, this is very clearly not a poke and back up. She is staying. So you're either going to compliment it or you're going to heal your Ana? Like, I don't know what the play is here, right? You even being here would be useful because at some point you know what she's going to do.
Yeah, and I can enable her better there.
Right, exactly. You can enable her better. You can go take the duel, dive over here. You can dive over here. So pick an option. Have some confidence here. There's another amp heal in a tank. And there it is, right?
Yeah, that was my fault there. I should have scared her out.
And her, well, not even, but everything leading up to that. Even just from the distraction and space control that you could have been here, either with your Sojourn or from here. Would that have saved your Zarya? I honestly don't know. Because sadly you're on a Junkrat make the same read that you did, but there at least would have been a better chance of winning this fight.
Yeah.
Worth a shot. And it works because your Sojourn's actually taking a sight line at the same point in time. So everyone's turned on the Soj, so then you go in. Reactive proactivity almost works. And it was worth a shot, you know, it was worth a shot. The only way that you're going to win that fight. Yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, and I had a touch there anyways too.
Yeah. Okay, let's no comment. Nice. Good. Nice. Get her. Oh no, she got rally armor. Unlucky.
Yeah. Once I saw that, I was like, never mind.
Yeah, see, even here a little bit, it just seems like sometimes you kind of lose track of what's going on around you. So like right here, like I see this Mei here, you need to stay. She needs help. Like either she's going to stay here and fight, in which case this is the best place for you to be, or she's going to kite out, in which case this is the best place for you to be, or place for you to be, right?
Yeah.
Just something to kind of keep in mind.
I think I saw the Sojourn shooting at me and I got scared, so I ran away.
But you rotated before the Sojourn shot, and the Sojourn shot encouraged you to keep going.
Okay, yeah.
You know, so... Yeah. This is fine. As long as the Zarya is within that aura. Weird amp.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that there.
It's okay. Nice. I mean, Zarya is a bad man.
Yeah,
or a bad lady. So you just play around that. You wait for her to take some sort of proactive action. You wait for them to try and punish her, and then you just sit on that. Yes, thank you. Probably not necessary, but thank you for at least recognizing that.
Yeah.
Yep. No second guessing. Because the thing is here you might not even realize it. Like, oh, they're just gonna combo, right? But you don't even realize this. But watch this from your Mei's perspective. She is able to live without having to use, like, I actually thought she had her ice block there, but at the very least there, she was able to greed some of her resources because she knows that she has beat armor. So yeah, that was a good beat, great beat.
Yeah.
And again here,
I could try to speed the Ana out, yeah.
I mean, first off, yes, speed the Ana out here. So here, stay on speed. So that flash of heals there unnecessary, right? But then especially here, what should you be doing right now?
Maybe trying to body block for the Ana?
Maybe. Or do what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
She's dead. Ride her off. Go help your Zarya. Get a kill here. Get her. Go. Yeah. And this is the hardest part of Lucio, is what you're seeing right here, you know? Go. Yes,
right,
thank you.
I remember this. It was good until I stayed here for a second. Like, this was fine, but I don't know why I stayed here instead of getting out right away.
Yeah, but you know what? I appreciate your heart's in the right place. You know, like I think like you need to like recognize when you make a play like this is a mistake because of how you executed it, but obviously the play itself was smart. And something, and most importantly, something that you've been missing in a lot of other fights, right? Because that's the thing is you're gonna walk away from this review and you'll be like, all right, you know, reactive proactivity, and your feet. But then you're gonna need to reevaluate like how's my wall riding, how's my decision making about when I'm going and like who am I going on or how I'm positioning myself and so on. And then like that's where we kind of start looking at like what you need to be doing. Like even here, go. Yeah, there you go. Like here, I'm more. It's not your proactivity that I'm concerned about here. It's the positioning, right? I don't want you here. I want you up here, or I want you here, or I want you up here, right? So that's something where you'll find errors with your play once you actually start taking action. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
But at least there's errors, things that you can learn from that action, because your inactivity is going to cover a lot of mistakes, but it's also going to cost you a lot of games. Okay. We've got more time. Do you want to look at another code?
Yeah, I got another one here. This one, I feel like I played well for most of it, but then I made a very big mistake with a beat in the middle of the game, and that cost us the entire thing.
Well, that's always how it goes. Everyone always can point to a moment in time that costs a game. At least one. My games usually it's like 7 or 8. But all right. Tough map for Lucio.
Yeah, it's
very tough map.
Of practice wall riding on here I've spent, just so I can like get up to high grounds better.
Now, the best part about this is you look at this and you're like, you know, you could peel off Sombra, obviously. But then you can also be budget tracer with your Doom, right? You know, let's see what you got. This is where your skill as a Lucio is really tested, I think. Good idea. Bad execution. Good idea. Bad execution.
Yeah, I didn't wait too long to drop down to Booper.
Because you actually died to Dynamite, actually.
Oh, I did, yeah, okay.
You died to Dynamite, right? Yeah. Because obviously, like, Virus Hack is just sucky. But, you know. And remember, reactive proactivity. Ash takes an angle, you punish. Doomfist engages, you punish. Well, I guess in this case, Jungle Queen. Ooh, okay. Now, I wouldn't do this.
Yeah, I think Arana's there too. She could have healed him.
You need to think about yourself. You need to think about, I want to hold this off angle. Or, is there anybody else going aggressive right now? Complement that.
Yeah, I could speed the queen in there.
Right? You could speed the queen. You could... Right?
Yeah.
You got me? Because this is worst case scenario. Well, not worst case scenario, but it's not a good scenario where you are reacting to the proactivity, but because you didn't set up for it, you're, I mean, it kind of goes without saying the issues with this, right?
Yeah, I'm going to take some damage out in the open there.
Mm-hmm. And then this is, you know, that's it. That's a result of your failure to recognize where you needed to be at any given point in time. Because that's the weakness of the map. It's so open that if you make the wrong read, you will die. Okay. I like the Genji. That's going to be a lot of fun to play with for you. Good. You see that? You just saved a Genji's life.
Yep.
Beautiful.
And right here, I get stuck and I die.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, at this point in time, it's because they've used 2 ultimates, and you guys have nothing. Actually, they used 3 ultimates. So I mean, yeah, they use 4 ultimates. Okay, so
and then there too. Wow,
yeah. So it's okay. We take the L on this one. You know, we're not a results based coaching system here at Storm Crow Productions. So you did good. You did good.
Okay.
Okay. Good. Complimenting aggression. Good boot. I think this is okay. I was gonna say you could also consider once you boop them off top, just playing like, you know, patty cake with a high ground, but you're good. Good.
Yeah.
It's scary, you know, with the Mercy Pocket.
Yeah, and I mean, Ashe is just like, when she hits Dynamite, if I can't run away fast enough, it's over.
I understand. And again here, 1-2. This is what we love to see, right? I mean, they're like, think about it this way. What's better, a damage boosted Ashe or a Lucio Genji combo at this range? Right?
Yeah.
Like, in theory, even though your Genji's entering this in critical, this is a 1v1 or 2v2 that you guys should win if you play it right. And that's what makes Lucio so strong.
Yeah, right there, I think he kind of fed.
Just so, I think he did too, but it still works.
Yeah, we distracted them long enough.
Yeah. And we got the kill. So. Ooh, 0.14? Nice job. Okay. Nice job. So I think the main takeaway for you is on maps this broad, you're going to have to predict because reacting is not going to be fast enough, right? Because you're not going to be able to get there in time. So let's adjust our vernacular from reactive proactivity to predictive proactivity, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like let's say they were still in Sombra, and let's say that you think that they're going to go for your Ana. You can't get to your Ana. It's too late, right? So you either need to be with your Ana ahead of time, or if you think your Genji's going to dive in, you need to be with your Genji ahead of time. I love where you are right now. Gives you a lot of options. It's also a very proactive angle from your DPS. If they want to dive, if they are going to be dove, for example, this Ashe might think at some point in time, hey, with Kiriko Mercy, I might be able to go up there and, you know, nope. Not when you're here. It's not happening, right? Junkrat might be thinking the same thing. Not going to happen. That's the power of Lucio.
Yeah. I think it actually does happen.
Yeah. In theory, it shouldn't work. It might work, but then that's going to be a mechanical failure from you.
I think it did because I backed up here a bit too much and I couldn't contest them anymore. And then I was too slow to go.
Oh, no. You got distracted. Yeah. That's all right. You had the right idea. But you could see, like, if you're here, it should never, ever happen. It should never, ever happen. And that's where, like, honestly, okay, so this is where we take the reactive or predictive proactivity and you make it entirely selfish, right? You're thinking, oh, I'm not enabling soldier from over here. Yeah, but the guy doesn't. What are you going to do by enabling the soldier right now, right? Maybe a little bit of chip healing. It's okay. but you have a much big. This is where you have to be smart. You got to know what that Ashe wants.
Yeah.
And this is where you sit right here. You just boop her right off of Fire.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all right. Because the other thing is, if I'm coaching your soldier here, I'm also losing my brain. The fact that he gave up that angle as well to shoot the Roadhog. But, you know, you can only control your hero, so you could beat this, yeah. Okay, that's all right. It's actually still going to work, though. So the beat's still good. I think you guys win this fight. Oh, wait, what? Okay, you let me down. What happened here? Stay in the Kiri. It's just mechanics.
Oh, they bobbed.
It's just mechanics. Unlucky. Okay. Yeah, it's just... Now, I want you to think about the scenario right here. Where are you going to provide the most value in terms of controlling space, putting out pressure?
If I could go around the left side up to that high ground and then wall right over with the Ashes and boop her off, or just 1v1 her up there, that'd be the best.
I think the best thing you could do right now is just be a total rat in this general area. I don't know if it's going to be harassing Junk, Mercy. I don't know if it's going to be booping Ashe. I don't know if it's going to be forcing Kiriko to heal this guy. I just don't see the value in speeding your queen around because she's not really engaging on anything much right now. You need to go be a rat.
Yeah.
You need to go be a rat. You need to be totally selfishly, still reactive. Don't be the guy that goes in first. Let your tank start to take space. Let your soldier peek first, then go for it. But think selfishly. Good? Good. Good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Nice.
Yeah, right there. I didn't want her to get the res off.
Yeah. I mean, it's smart, right?
There was a 2K for him right there, but he said, nope, Lucio.
Yeah, well, we take it. Okay, let's see. A little early. You need to get it at like the 2-second marker, right? And that's going to mean that now that your team is actually...
4 seconds.
Well, yeah, it might be 3 or 4 seconds, but it's certainly not 10 seconds. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I was there early. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going here. So this is a good one. I'm glad you picked this one. I think like if what you're learning here is not learning, but reminding here that this is okay. There you go.
I didn't know that she was like.
Yeah, I mean, it was good shots. Good shots. Take credit for it. You know, just more selfish in scenarios like this. If there is nobody that you can really directly pocket because they don't have good positioning, then remember you have that mobility to just play for yourself, right? Still reactive. Don't be the first guy to go in because you're too squishy for that. But do be proactively taking space. So like even here, you see the issue here?
Yeah, I'm not taking space, but my mindset there was that the hog was going to go up, so I was going to go there to stop him because if he were to get booped.
Right.
And then once I heard him walking away, then I was going to go back.
So it's a triage is what it is. You have to prioritize what's the most important space to deny right now. I don't think hog on the soft angle is the most threatening thing for me right now. Worst case scenario, he hooks your tank, he's fine. It's whatever. Maybe he hooks him off the map. Maybe that was your concern here. But this high ground, unbelievably important. Unbelievably important.
I think it just got a thirst for a boop.
Okay. I respect the honesty. I probably would have done the same thing. But obviously, like, remember, like that's what makes your support strong. Is like this should be like not something that you can kill, but something that you can go, you know, knock him off. Good. And if the Mercy drops pocket, she dies.
Or I could also go through this way with which I do. Yeah.
Right there you go. Right, it's just late. It's late is all it is. And this is where like again you're giving this hog so much attention, but hey, like let it go. Like I think like only hog is like obviously something that you can help with. But like, why would you prioritize this over everything else that we've seen on our battle screen? Now, it turns out right now, there's really nothing else that you could do, but you didn't know that. Right? You didn't know that. So it's a little bit lucky. And even here, like again, like leave him alone. Because there it is, right? There it is. There's your high ground opportunity. Maybe that Ashe has come up here again. I don't know. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah, giving too much attention to the enemy tank.
I think so too. Now it makes sense because there's nothing really happening. And he's way feeding. Maybe. Nice. Nice. It's like a lot of the value that Kiriko provides in these comps, right? Like why Kiriko is really good at this is because she's very similar to you, to where she like takes an angle and it can be really difficult to dislodge and just constantly harass, you know?
Yeah.
The difference between you and Kiriko is you have a lot worse range, but you have like the ability to move around a little bit quicker than she can. Or at least you're not relying on somebody else being in a position for you to get there.
Yeah. And also it's not on a cooldown too, it just happens.
I mean, this is fine because you know that there's nothing else that's taking space right now. But in a few moments, you give this guy a little bit of attention. Again, your mind goes selfish. They're a soldier. Where's that soldier positioning? Where's that Genji diving right now? You know, that needs to be the mindset right here. Where this is getting too much attention, and there it is, right? It's the same thing that happened on Ashe Mercy over here. It almost needs to be like remember the predictive part, the predictive. You need to know that that's what they're going to do. They have to. A little bit of the ADHD going on, you know? That's part of the difficulty, you know? You have to be able to manage that.
Yeah.
You have to be able to manage that. Good. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, I killed him there.
But you know what? It was the right play. Good job. Good job. You should feel good about that. And there you go. Good. I would not chase here. You're perfectly staged to go kill this guy. Stay on him.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You know? Like, I think you're giving this tank too much attention when there's other opportunities available. Even stuff like this, right? This is huge. Get her. Nice. Great job. It's very selfish, right? But it's great. Very selfish.
Yeah. She was really overextended there.
Yeah. I mean, that's how you're going to have to play in this comp, right? Because you can't be in 7 different places at once, so you just got to kind of predict where people are going to be, think a little bit selfishly, play a little bit like a tracer, you know?
Yeah, something I notice a lot when I'm like playing on maps like this or Circuit Royale. I notice a lot too. There's just times where I'm like wandering from place to place to place because it's just something happens here. I got to go over here. Sometimes I got to go over here. Oh, this is the moment.
But staying on that Circuit Royale point though, yeah, it's the prediction though. It's the reason that you're chasing is you're not thinking ahead of time where they want to be. Like, where is that Genji? They're on Genji. Where's she gonna be? Where's that Ashe Mercy gonna want to play? Where's that Ashe Mercy gonna want to play? Where's that Sombra gonna stage for her dive? Right. That way you spend less time chasing. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's very important in a map this big. You need to know where they're going before they go. Weird amp.
Yeah, this was what I said through the game. I saw the Genji there, and I thought, he's gonna blade, but if he does it, he's gonna kill me before I beat in time, so I just beat it right there, that he just waited.
You know, here's the funny thing. Here's the really, really funny thing. You're right, but you're also wrong. Because what the heck are you doing here?
I don't know. I think after that beat, my brain just shut down.
Because, again, like, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity here. This guy naked blades. Check this out. One boop. This guy has lamp. One amp, one boop. You guys live this.
Yeah.
Not only does he live it, but you also don't die to Roadhog and cart. Right? So the problem here is it's like obviously your brain shuts off, but we've seen this before the beat where you were chasing the Roadhog around the map, right? Why?
Yeah.
You know? Prioritize your own value. Like right here, you were thinking about it. And I know you're like, oh, well, that can maybe boop him back in. Yeah, you could, maybe. But I hear soldier. This guy cannot be allowed to play this position. That's your responsibility. Even here, right? Where's that Kiriko? Where's that Genji, right? I know they're not going to stay in card forever. I mean, this is fine. But at the same time, look what immediately happens afterwards. Right? So I don't second guess the problem here because I do think that you did get value out of speed there. But it's funny. Even when it goes well, you lose something.
Yeah.
You'll get him. And you got to get here faster, right? You got to get here faster. That's on you. And that's it. That's honestly that's the map. Like that's the map. I honestly don't even think we need to see anything else here. I would be going back top. Go back top. Still like go back top. Go back top. You need to be here. You need to be here. Right?
Yeah.
There it is. Okay. Magical word of the day is
Proactivity.
reactive proactivity, and predictive proactivity. Do you understand what those words mean? I don't think I've ever used those stupid, complicated words before.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Okay. And then the amp speed on tanks. Keep an eye on it. Don't second guess your beats. They honestly weren't that bad. They weren't that bad. I mean, the one on the Genji wasn't terrible, but okay, it was terrible. But there was still value to be had from it. Like, okay, we can drop. I can go a little bit more aggressive. But you just then took that initiative to go and drop on Roadhog. So I don't want to hey, stop focusing on Roadhog. That's the main focus, right? But I do think that that's something to keep an eye on. Mm-hmm. Where are you putting your attention? Where is your attention most needed? Okay. Do you have any questions?
When it's just like a poke phase of a fight, do you think it's better to try and prioritize damaging the tank so it's more reliable to hit the shots, even though you get less ult charge, or trying to go for a squishy even though you're going to miss more?
Great question. I would prioritize the tank if the tank and DPS supports are stacked. Mm-hmm. If the DPS or supports are taking an angle, prioritize the angle.
Okay.
Because the tank is easier to shoot, and so if the DPS and supports aren't really taking aggressive positions, there's no point in shooting them. But if they take an aggressive position, even if you miss half your shots, the damage matters a lot because they're taking an aggressive position or they're on an aggressive angle, right? But yeah, makes sense?
Yeah, all right, thank you.
Yep, no problem. No other questions?
No, not right now.